Someone asked in the comments if there was any musical bands that influenced me in my development into Satanism, and absolutely. And I'm sure most Satanists you'll ask will have, their own favorite bands. Mine, being 13, 14, I was pretty young when introduced to Satanism. That was back in the early '90s. So of course my musical taste is going to reflect back then. Big ones back then for me was probably number one, Danzig. Danzig was a major influence. I remember when I was a little too young to remember the first Danzig album, but the second one, Lucifuge, that was just badass. If you guys had never listened to Danzig or that album, Lucifuge, definitely listen to it. That's a lot of very overt satanic things going on there. Danzig's always been one of my favorite artists. Just what I grew up on. Another one was Metallica. Metallica was huge. Influence on me too. I remember And Justice for All coming out, but I was still a little young at that point. I think it wasn't until when Black came out, because I was in high school. That's when I could really appreciate Metallica. Another one of my favorite Satanic Bands. Trying to think of who else. Bad Religion. Bad Religion was another good one. Guys, yeah, if you haven't listened to some of these, these are all older stuff, but if you guys haven't listened to them yet, definitely take a listen to them. Marilyn Manson too. Although when Marilyn Manson got into the scene, I was in my late teens, I think, at the time. So, yeah, that was a big influence. White Zombie. Got into the industrial scene like KMFDM, Through Cult, Electric Hellfire Club was a big one. But the main ones were Danzig, Metallica, of course the Misfits, but it was mainly Danzig. Got into Sam Hain, that's all Danzig stuff too, but shit, I'm trying to think. I had like a whole list in my head that I was going to think of. But yeah, Bad Religion was big. What else? I kind of like when I got into the goth stuff, but the goth stuff was kind of just like, a lot of that was mainly aesthetics. I should say metal is too, though. But Metallica, Danzig, Bad Religion. For the industrial stuff, like Through Cult, Electric Hellfire Club, 9 Inch Nails. There we go. That's what I was trying to hit. 9 Inch Nails was a big influence on me too. It's like if you think of like when you see like patterns like for musicians and stuff as far as Satanists go. If you look at 9 Inch Nails, 9 being the ultimate satanic number, the number of the ego. I'm not even going to go into that. You can look it up. But 9 Inch Nails is also what allegedly nailed Jesus to the cross. And if you doubt if Trent Reznor is a Satanist, listen to, he's got so many great songs. Heresy on the Downward Spiral. That's about all you need to know. And Wish is a good one. The 9 Inch Nails cannot go wrong. I've been a big fan of Trent Reznor. And who made Marilyn Manson? Trent Reznor was the one who handpicked and made Marilyn Manson. Another, pretty loud Satanist, or was. Manson was pretty cool. And, it was great, like, when I was... I would have been like 18, 19 when Manson really first came out of the scene. So I was a little older. I was already, pretty well, in depth as far as Satanism goes. I was like, pretty already matured as far as, starting off at the age of 14. It was really cool to see when Manson broke onto the scene, being aware of like who kind of like, well, not only what Satanism was, but who was actually spinning the wheels as far as musicians go. And to watch like all these like 13, 14-year-old kids, like, and I say kids, I was only 18 or 19, so I wasn't much older, but yeah, I watched these 13, 14-year-old kids, lining up, like, dressed like the spooky kids and stuff, waiting for, Antichrist Superstar. That was the big one that came out. Oh, that's in my top 10 favorite albums of all time, is Antichrist Superstar by Manson. So there's some bands, Bad Religion, Metallica. See, I think of that Black as like kind of newer Metallica, but it's not. It's just because I'm old, so it's like, when I remember Black came out, that was badass. Like, God That Failed, that's a great song. Enter Sandman, the Metallica, like, that whole era from, like, late 80s to, like, mid-90s, Metallica is just fucking badass. But yeah, Danzig, Lucifuge was probably my number one. That's my top 10 favorite albums too. That's probably the number one album that really influenced me, that I really got into. And I could really see like and identify like the satanic aspects of it. So if you haven't checked out Danzig's Lucifuge, I definitely would do that.